In a country where most Bollywood celebrities chase power, glamour, and money, there are only a few who dare to rebel, who dare to speak the truth. Zubeen Garg was one such rebel, fearless, fiery, and unapologetically real. Assam will never forget the date, the 19th of September 2025. That day, not only did the sea claim a life, it silenced the voice of an entire generation. The day Zubeen Garg left this world, Assam stood still. His voice echoed through every street, every classroom, every heart. When the news broke, the state froze. College students, police officers, teachers, office workers, everyone broke down. No one could stop their terrors. Offices were shut, schools closed, traffic vanished. The government declared 3 days of mourning, but even that fell too short to contain the grief of the people who had lost their soul. When Zubeen's body reached Assam, hundreds of thousands flooded the streets to see him one last time. The roads overflowed with people crying, singing his songs, lighting candles. The air was thick with heartbreak. On the 23rd of September, during his final rites, the crowd was beyond imagination, bigger than anything the country had seen before. If you're not from Assam, you might wonder, why? Why did an entire state come to a halt for a singer? The answer is simple, because Zubeen Garg was not just a singer. He was the heartbeat of Assam. During the early 1990s, Assam was burning. A separatist movement was at its peak. The United Liberation Front of Assam, ULFA, had taken over the imagination of the youth. There was bloodshed, fear, and frustration everywhere. Amidst that chaos, in 1992, a young man released his first album, Anamikar. That album wasn't just music, it was healing. It was a voice of hope in a land of despair. His melodies of love, heartbreak, and courage gave people a reason to smile again. Anamika became Assam's first rock album, and Zubeen became a star overnight. His songs echoed in tea gardens, over rivers, in small villages and bustling cities. Assam needed Zubeen. They needed someone who could give words to their pain, their contradictions, and their pride. He sang about the soil, the rivers, and the people. He made the Assamese language cool again at a time when everyone wanted to speak English. His voice became the symbol of resistance, pride, and identity. Through him, people learned that their language, their music, and their culture were enough. By the 2000s, he was not just a celebrity, he was an icon. During Bihu, Assam's biggest festival, he was the most awaited artist every year. And then, at the peak of his stardom, he did something no one expected. He left Bollywood and returned home. The Songyu Ali from the film Gangster had made him famous across India. He had sung Dil Tu Hai Batter in Krish 2, and countless others. But even after reaching the top, he turned his back on Mumbai. He once said, "Bollywood has an attitude problem. I am treated like a king in Assam, and a king should never leave his kingdom." In his lifetime, he recorded more than 38,000 songs in over 40 languages: Assamese, Hindi, Bengali, Nepali, Tamil, Malayalam, Bhojpuri, and many more. He played 12 instruments, but despite his genius, he was underpaid and exploited. The rights to his songs belonged to record labels. He received only one-time fees, never royalties, yet he never stopped singing. Because for Zubeen, music was not business, it was love. But his greatness wasn't only in his music. What made him truly special was how deeply he loved his people. He lived among them, laughed with them, ate with them. He wasn't a star behind glass walls, he was one of them. You could see him sitting with laborers on the roadside, sharing food, or helping vegetable vendors and rickshaw drivers. People would line up outside his home for help, school fees, hospital bills, wedding expenses, and he never turned them away. During floods, he personally collected donations, medicines, and clothes to distribute. During the COVID crisis, when hospitals ran out of beds, he offered his own house to be converted into a COVID care center. He adopted 15 underprivileged children, including a girl named Kajali, whom he rescued from an abusive household and fought a legal battle to adopt. Zubeen didn't just sing about love and humanity, he lived it. And he was fearless, a rebel in the truest sense. He questioned those in power, challenged authority, and stood up to corruption. In interviews, he said openly, "I'm a rebel, I'm a fighter. I'm not a politician." He admired Che Guevara and believed that an artist's duty is to speak the truth. He never hesitated to call out politicians, no matter which party they belonged to. Once he said that Assam's ministers and MLAs are corrupt across party lines. They appoint a cultural minister who doesn't understand our culture, he said bluntly. He was born into a Brahmin family but rejected caste identity. He once used his sacred thread to tie a mosquito net, symbolically freeing himself from caste constraints. He declared himself an atheist, saying he had no religion, no God, only freedom. His compassion extended to animals too. In 2018, when actor Govinda went to Assam's Kamakhya temple to sacrifice a buffalo, Zubeen openly opposed it, saying no God asks for blood. He said if Govinda really wanted to sacrifice something, he should have sacrificed himself, not a helpless animal. That was Zubeen, unfiltered, honest, and impossible to silence. Even when threatened, he never backed down. In 2013, ULFA, the separatist group, warned Assamese singers not to sing Hindi songs during Bihu festivals. Every artist stayed silent, except Zubeen. He called their threats nonsense, saying that music has no language. He defied them and sang Hindi songs at Bihu anyway. ULFA threatened to kill him, but he said he was safer among his people than with bodyguards. Later, even ULFA members admitted their respect for him. They called him a brother and paid tribute after his death. And friends, that's the difference between an ordinary celebrity and a legend. While most stars tremble at boycotts, Zubeen faced death threats and kept singing for his people. He stood with truth, even when it was dangerous. He didn't bow before power, he challenged it. When the Citizenship Amendment Act, the CA, was introduced, Assam erupted in protest. The people didn't want it, and Zubeen became the face of resistance. He said he would rather die than see CA implemented in Assam. His song Politics No Kariba Bandhu, Don't Play Politics, My Friend, became the anthem of the movement. He joined rallies, created a website for the protest, and urged people to stay peaceful while demanding justice. When police violence erupted, he asked the government to feel the pain of the people instead of silencing them. He also fought for the environment. In 2024, when a new flyover project threatened to cut hundreds of trees in Guwahati, Zubeen joined the protest and told the government bluntly, "If you cut down these trees, cut me first." His courage forced the authorities to back down. It showed how much difference one fearless voice can make. And this is where we must pause, because if you felt even a spark of inspiration so far, then do me one small favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. Because stories like Zubeen's deserve to be heard. Real heroes, real rebels, not just movie scripts. And if you believe the world needs more of these stories, you'll want to stay for the next one. Sadly, our country rarely celebrates such courage. Most celebrities today prefer silence. During the farmers' protest, when people needed voices, many stars tweeted government approved hashtags like India against propaganda. They had no words for the farmers who died, no compassion for the students who were beaten, no curiosity for the truth. But they all lined up to wish the Prime Minister happy birthday as if it were an order. That's the sad reality of celebrity culture in India, rich in glamour, poor in courage. Zubeen was the opposite. He stood for truth, no matter the cost. He inspired love, unity, and pride among his people. Even after his death, he united Assam across religion, caste, and class. People who hadn't spoken to each other for years stood side by side, holding candles, singing his songs. Zubeen belonged to everyone, Hindus, Muslims, tribal, non-tribal, because he was a true artist, and art has no boundaries. He reminded us that an artist's job is not to entertain the powerful, but to empower the powerless. And that's why hundreds of thousands of people came to say goodbye. That's why Assam cried. And that's why, even in death, Zubeen Garg continues to live in every heart that beats for truth and freedom. Friends, if Zubeen's story moved you, tell me what you felt in the comments below. Was he truly India's most fearless singer? Or was he something even more, a symbol of what it means to be free? I'll be reading every comment, because the world should know that voices like his never die, they only echo louder.